You've undoubtedly heard of a database, but have you heard of a relational database? That's the specific kind of database we're going to use in this course. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief primer on relational databases and how they were invented and popularized. In a relational database, data is organized into tuples and attributes. A set of tuples that all have the same attributes, when put together, form a relation. So think of a tuple as a row. It's a set of data that represents something like a person, a product, or an event. The attributes, then, are the columns. They are the things that describe the data in our tuple, like a name, date of birth, or location. And when you put the rows and columns together, they create a table. And a table, or set of tables together, form our database. The database is then installed on a server where it has access to all of the computing power, memory, and disk storage necessary to function. You may not have heard of tuples, attributes, and relations before. Those are the original terms used by British computer scientist Ted Codd over 50 years ago when he first developed the theory that gave rise to relational databases while he was working at IBM. When people talk about databases, they don't typically use these terms. Instead, we think and talk in terms of rows, columns, and tables. Why? Because that's what they're called in SQL, the language that we primarily use to talk to relational databases. Shortly after Dr. Codd developed his theory, known as the relational model, a group of computer scientists at IBM took that theory and put it into action. They wanted to develop a language they could use to communicate with a database they were working on, and it was originally called SEQUEL, SQL, for Structured English Query Language. They later shortened it to SQL, or just Structured Query Language, because a company in the United Kingdom had a trademark on the SQL acronym. However, as you can tell, a lot of people kept right on pronouncing it as SQL. As you can probably guess, since the man who developed the relational model was an IBM employee, and the people who developed SQL based on the relational model were IBM employees, IBM was the first company to explore commercializing relational databases. But it was actually a small upstart consulting company named Software Development Laboratories, or SDL, that successfully commercialized SQL databases. The product SDL created is known as an RDBMS, or Relational Database Management System. An RDBMS is a program that allows people to administer relational databases by creating them and interacting with them via a language or actual user interface. And the database they released in 1979, they named it Oracle. The Oracle database was so successful that a few years later, SDL just changed its name to Oracle to make the company synonymous with their flagship product. They literally wrapped their whole corporate identity up in their SQL database. Now, Oracle is one of the largest multinational technology corporations in the world, with 135,000 employees across the globe and close to $40 billion in annual revenue. And it was largely built on the foundations of their SQL database, which remains extremely popular to this day. In the next video, we'll continue exploring the history of SQL and the changing face of relational databases as new competitors enter the field and technology continues its breakneck pace of improvement and modernization.